Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video. There's been a lot going on. A lot of battling life, adjusting life, losing the battles to life, learning the lessons from life, and the list goes on. But I'm glad to be here and in good health this time of year, especially after the last COVID outbreak. And that's why I'm back here now. It's that time of year again where we're supposed to celebrate the holiday seasons with family and friends. And yet, here we are facing another possible epidemic. My video this time is twofold. One is to focus on this time of the year for some of us. It may be a little tough because I lost my dad this time last year. So it's a major adjustment. I've gone through some rough times. I'm going through a tough time right now. I've had my good days and not so good days. But I've had to decide and ask myself, what am I going to do about it? I'm also here because we're having another COVID outbreak. We don't know what the outcome is going to be, but what type of preparations are we making for that just in case moment? Just in case we go into isolation again and have to be shut down, what are we going to do? So there's a twofold message in this video. How are we going to handle our grieving? And how are we going to handle a possible isolation for the just in case? I don't have the direct answer, nor do I have the perfect answer. But to deal with both, I said I'll kill two birds in one stone. I will revisit. What I am doing is revisiting some of the ideas and projects and plans I had previously, prior to COVID and prior to my dad passing. When those two things occurred, my life took a turnaround, and many of your lives took a total turnaround as well. Some of us adjusted well, some of us did not adjust well. So for the just in case moment, what are we going to do this time? I would suggest to revisit some of your old plans, some of your old projects. Get your mind occupied so you won't feel as isolated and alone and as though you're at a stalemate. Revisit some of your hobbies. It may be therapeutic for you. Some of your hobbies may even turn into businesses for you. But I would at least suggest to try and do something different this year. I know for some of us and some of you, you're just losing loved ones. And none of this advice is going to do you any good, because right now you have to deal with the shock of losing loved ones, the shock of not having that person there, the reality of not having the person there, which doesn't always come initially. I would say if you're isolated, at least reach out. Don't be afraid or ashamed to let someone know you need someone to talk to during this time. Do not be alone. If others reach out to you, be open to them. Talk to them, especially during this holiday season. And if you've just recently lost a loved one during the COVID, prior to COVID, or just recently as of yesterday, last week. But I do ask that you allow people, or if you feel that you can trust, allow them to be there for you. Develop a support system, because this is not the time to handle this time of year and this season alone, specifically if you're grieving. And then there's another side of being alone momentarily in isolation. Sometimes I feel that's when God can speak to us the most. I'm not talking about specifically if you're grieving and if you've lost loved ones, but I'm just specifically talking about, say, you've been needing some answers to things, questions answered. This isolation period for some of us and some of you may be the perfect time to get the answers you've been looking for. So that makes it a threefold. I said there were two purposes. Well, there's a third purpose for some of us and for some of you. And that's to hear God and listen. Not just hear, listen to him. I'm saying that from personal experience because I've heard, or either I say I've listened and didn't hear, and I'm hearing and I'm not listening. So I'm speaking from personal experience. And in doing so, we can avoid a lot of catastrophe and have more peace and joy. But I do pray for peace, for God's peace this season over you, for God's love, his joy. And I pray for a peace that passes all understanding during this time of year. Because this is one of the toughest times of the year for many people. Because many of us, and many of you, don't have the family we used to have. And we're just trying to figure out how to navigate new ways of doing new things. So I release God's love, peace, and comfort over you. You guys take care. I'll be reaching out again.